Happy Valentine's Day! Oh, so good to see all of you on this Prowess Goes Live. Y'all know how much I love these. You know how much I love my Wednesdays because of these. You know how much I love all of the comments that come in along the way. And today's special guest, like, bursts with love. I don't know how else to describe her. She's just so funny and energetic and is this fireball and just takes everyone's heart and puts it on a pedestal. She's just freaking amazing. But before I get into that, again, hi everyone. I'm Ashley Connell, CEO and founder of Prowess Project. What are we doing here at Prowess? We help women caregivers mostly who want flexible careers. We train them to be online business managers, which is a cross between a COO and a VA. And then we take all of the data that we have for them during the training and match them up with their ideal jobs. So that's what Prowess Project is. And the goal of these sessions are to constantly be bringing you a more and more know-how to help you be the best online business manager possible. As an OBM, you are the backbone of the business. You are the gatekeeper of the business. You are the person who has the ear of the CEO. And so our job is to make you the best at that possible. Okay? And that is why we are bringing on the amazing Iris Goldfeder. Oh my God, y'all. A little bit about Iris before I bring her on. I really wanted her to come in to talk about marketing for all. And she dives deep into accessibility, which I am just like dipping my toes into. So I'm going to learn an absolute ton here too. And I'm so excited. And we're also going to talk about self-care and what we do for ourselves because it is Valentine's Day. So that being said, put into the comments, what is one thing you're going to do for yourself today because it's Valentine's Day? One thing, put it in the comments. It doesn't need to be big. And I'm waiting. Y'all know I'm stubborn and I need to see someone respond before I'm going to continue. I ask these questions and I'm like, hey, Ashley, what are you doing for yourself today for Valentine's Day? Go for a walk. That's a great one, Joyce. Oh, Natalie, not making dinner. That's mine too. We're going for Mexican food. Margaritas for Valentine's Day. Jody, buy myself some high-end chocolates. Yes, girl. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Go to bed early, Stacy. Also on that train. Really love that. So again, having the amazing Iris, she is CEO of GasStoveCreative and has over 25 years of experience in marketing. But again, like that is all great and wonderful, and we love that. And she is so much more. So without further ado, Iris, my dear, how the heck are you? Thanks for being on with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, and I am awesome. And it's GasStoveCreative, not glass.
Did I say glass?
You said glass. It's okay. I just, I just want to get that.
No, thank you. Correct me.
So, I mean, it's Valentine's Day, and I'm not dying anymore, so I feel awesome. This week was like I was like sick all week, and like last night I was sitting there going, I have to get better because I'm doing Ashley's live tomorrow, so I cannot be sick. So I do sound a little stuffy for those who know me, but I'm ready to rock and roll. So.
Oh, I love how much of a priority this is for you. You must get sick. You've been sick for days, but must get better to tell all of these online business managers all about everything you do. And so before we get started, Iris, what are you doing for yourself for Valentine's Day?
I'm on here with you, Ashley.
No.
My wife is like, what?
Kiss ass, I love it. Yeah, I know. She's like,
no,
kiss Ashley.
Yeah. No. I am, oh wow, my home phone just like did something weird. I'm not working. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking the day and just kind of giving myself a break. I run a not-for-profit, and our biggest fundraiser of the year is Saturday. So I have got to get better by, like 100%. I can't be like 90%. I literally have to be 100%. So I'm exercising, taking care of myself. I'm not going to band practice tonight. I'm just gonna take care of myself, and hopefully my wife will bring pizza or something home, and we'll be all good.
Okay, well, putting a pin in two things, the nonprofit and the band practice. So hang tight there. But give us a skinny. Tell us like your journey. How did you get from, where you started to where you are now, this like true force?
Phew. I mean, I feel like I'm on my podcast. It, it, how I got here has been really the last almost 2+ years. My business will be 10 years old. So Gas Stove will be 10 years old in April, which I can't even wrap my brain around. Like I was sitting on the couch 2 Saturdays ago, and I looked at my wife and went, "Oh my God, like I'm going to be 10 years old in April." And of course she had a snide comment to make. She's like, "You're not 10," but whatever. But the fact that, we're here at 10 is just like amazing. And I want to stop by saying, first off, thank you for that amazing introduction. That was like a lot. So thank you. I just wanted to make sure I get that in. But I started out 10 years ago as, doing like websites and SEO, and that was it. And then COVID hit. I had like a different business partnership that ended, 2 years ago. And from those 2 years, a lot kind of happened. Like I started looking at, what really aligns with my values. What do I want to do that is going to actually help people? I'm not a numbers person. I want 100 clients. I want 20 clients that I can help, that I can get to know, that I can care about, and then really help them grow their business. That's who I am. And that's how I got where I am, just by working with people whose values align with mine, and who I really get to know them and their business. And like, the stuff that you guys do is so important. I mean, online business management is huge because a lot of people don't know how to run their own business. They just don't know how to do it. We can market the hell out of them, but if their back end isn't working right, then they need you. I don't look a day over 10. Thank you, Natalie. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, so good.
When I was 10, I wanted to be an astronaut. So, although I do have my Mandalorian helmet, so I don't know. But
there you go.
But yeah, so that's how I got here. It was just honestly, it was like a lot of hard work, a lot of inner work, looking at how do I want to serve and who do I want to serve, because it's not about working for me. It's about serving who I'm working with.
So this is fascinating to me. Is there a moment in your career that you can share that you had that light bulb moment and you were like, you know what, F this, I'm not working for people who I don't jive with?
It was when that business partnership ended.
Okay.
It was like I've always known. I found out like 20 something years ago that, my life's purpose. And I really do believe that it's to serve. I believe that experiences that I have or that I go through are so A, somebody else doesn't go through it, or B, so that somebody else can learn from it, from me. So that was always big for me. I think the other piece was, probably my first client as, retaking over Gas Stove. It was a big deal. This person was kind of stuck in a Meyer, and to everybody else, they were a number. To everybody else, they were like, you know, yeah, sign up for this and you'll get this, and sign up for this. And it literally hurt my head. I was like, no, that's not what you need. So I helped her through it. And then my next client came along, and he was kind of in a similar situation, but he needed more hands, like holding his hand. And I was available to hold his hand. And it just came really clear that, you know, these people's values align with mine. And I can help them. The things that I know, my expertise, my skill set, can really help them grow their business. And that was my moment where it was like, okay, the all-in-one marketing solutions came from one of my other clients who's a bank, and they needed like everything. They needed promotional items, and they needed like, trade show setups and all of these things. And it was like, yeah, we can do it. And so that kind of morphed into all-in-one marketing solutions for service-based business for people who don't want to deal with 20 people to get their marketing done. So that's how it all kind of, did I answer that right?
You did.
Okay.
And something that's coming up for me that we talk a lot about at Prowess Project. So I kind of feel like I am the guardian of the OBMs in some capacity. And what I mean by that is I speak to the companies who come to Prowess Project first and decide if values align with Prowess, and then say, okay, yeah, we can move forward, and we match one of our online business managers. And that comes easy to me. It comes easy for me to say, you know what, values not in alignment. No, you're not a bad person. We're not bad people. It's just not in alignment. Can you speak to that? How do you handle when a client may not be in alignment? Because for our OBM population, that is scary.
So the way that I handle it is usually an email. We had, so I don't want to get political, so I won't. Okay, so I had a call with somebody, and I think we talked about this. I had a call with somebody who, as soon as the call started, they had a bunch of stuff in their background that didn't align with my values. And I was proud of myself, because probably 2 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, fuck that, that's not happening. And then just, end the call. But I didn't, because what I have learned is that we're all people. And so rather than it being like a, hey, absolutely not, blah, 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 I sent an email. We had a conversation. I said, you know what? And it was a 15-minute conversation. I usually do a 15-minute vetting call. And oh yeah, I know within 10 minutes if I'm going to work with you or not, whether, you have something in your back, on your back wall or not. I don't care about that. There's like you have a connection or you don't, right?
Totally.
And I knew. And so I said, thank you so much for the information that you've provided and your time. I'm going to go back and confer with my team, and I'll send you an email within 48 hours. And I did. And the email said, upon further discussion with my team, we realized that we are not a good fit and that we won't be able to help you, but I can refer some people to you if you'd like. Because I never want to leave anybody hanging, right? And then I got an email back saying it's because of blah, 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 right? And I went, do I answer this? And then I did. I said, yes, absolutely. And then we went back and forth for a couple of emails, and that was it. But, I think that it's really important, and it doesn't have to be political. I think just for me, it's a morality thing. It's like, if your morals aren't where mine are, then we're just not going to be able to work together. Um, and I think that I think another thing too is I um, I had somebody who and this is my cold medicine. I apologize. My brain's like
No, no,
freezing
no.
for a minute. But I think we talked about this. I had a client that I had been working with for a really long time, and my dog um, needed. She had cherry eye, and she had like 11 eye surgeries. And in the middle of the call, her eye started like tearing, and she was really uncomfortable. And I said, "Hey, I need to end this call like now." And he said, "It's just a dog." And that was the end of that relationship. And we've been working together probably for 6 years. So I think it shows up in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely. And what I'm hearing you say is it's okay to be picky. Not all
Oh,
money is green.
no.
And what I'm also hearing you say is like what I loved about what you said is you didn't make a quick judgment of somebody based on whatever it is. You said that you could have done that and ended the call. You didn't because you're right. People are people.
Right.
You and I both agree on this. I know that like, differences do make the world go round, and it's important to have all of those. And you get the choice of who you're going to work with. And I want all
Right.
of y'all to remember this who are listening. Like we have that power. Use it.
Yeah, you don't have to say yes to everybody. I know that there are some people starting out and they're like, "Oh my God, well, I need the money and I have to say yes." And I get
Right.
that. I did that in the beginning. Like in the very beginning when I started, it was like, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. You want me to do what? Absolutely." But you will get to a point where you will be able to say no. Um, and that's important to be able to do that because when your work aligns with your heart and when your client aligns with what's in your heart, it is the most beautiful thing because there's this synergy there where it just works. And even if I have a client today who, wanted to make some changes in things and it wasn't an argument. It was like, okay, great. Let's work on it together and figure it out. And we did. And that's it. That's what it's about. It's about choosing the people that that you can work with, whether it's a hard conversation or whatever. You can have those and be comfortable, and that's where I think it makes the difference.
Totally. And I mean, you see it a lot, right? Like people who share your commonalities, let's just call them, typically know other people who share those commonalities. So if you're
Right.
investing in that group, it's likely that you're going to meet other people within their network who also share transitive property, I think it is. But Leah, please ask one of your children if that is correct. Okay, I could talk to you about this all day long. I do
Right.
want to talk about accessibility and your
Yes.
focus on accessibility on websites. Tell us how you, I don't know, started going down that path, what it means, what the opportunity is. Like, tell us, please.
Okay, so accessibility, when I first started talking about it, I got it wrong. Overlays like accessibility, and there's like some other things aren't necessarily the fix. Um, and let's just talk about accessibility
Yeah.
before we talk about all the gadgets. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
accessibility itself is a a um, a a smooth user experience for everybody. So anybody who comes to your website, uh, whether they are disabled or not, has a smooth user experience. And if they are disabled, they need to be able to navigate your site with an easy flow. Um, and what that means is that if they're blind, and if they're blind, they have a tool, right? They definitely have a tool on their keyboard that will read your website. But if you don't have alt tags
Mm,
on your pictures, let's say,
mhm.
um, they can't navigate your website. It'll read it, but it won't be able to navigate. So, for instance, let's say that you have a picture of, I don't know, a dad, a mom, and a couple of kids fishing, right? On a still lake on a boat. If you don't have an alt tag on there, all that they're going to do is hear picture, right? But if you have the alt tag on there or the alt text, it will say, you know, mom, dad, and 2 kids in a boat fishing on a still lake, so that they can get that picture in their head. So that's part of it. Another part of it is contrast, and I'm probably going to be redoing my logo, which is going to kill me, and it's probably going to kill my designer Kim, but to make the colors a little bit more contrast, because what happens is, if somebody has a visual impairment and they come to your website and the colors aren't contrasted enough, they can't differentiate between the different blues, the different grays, the different, so like yellow on red, really bad. White on red, good. Red on white, good. Navy blue on black, bad. And you see like so many people, like I go to websites now and it's so funny, because I can't I can't unsee it. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, and I've sent a couple of emails out like in the past month, saying you need to have your developer redo this because I can't read it. So if I can't read it, somebody who's visually impaired can't. And then there's, ADHD, right? So, which I think I like have a little bit of it, but there's certain things where you can emphasize certain texts that you really want to stand out. So it's more in the back end coding now than it is actually doing the overlays, because I'm finding the overlays actually can disrupt the tools that the disabled person uses to navigate the web.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And so can you talk a little bit more about the ADHD? And here's why I ask. This is fascinating to me, but a good portion of the CEOs who are coming to Prowess Project to hire online business managers have, within first 3 minutes of talking to them, self-reported that they have ADHD. And so what should we be considering?
I think most CEOs do. I think,
Preach.
I mean, right? Like, I think that we kind of,
Yeah.
because we have, but I think that's a good thing, because that's what allows us to see everything. It allows us to see that big picture and the peripheral vision, but it also makes us go, oh, wait, the deer in my backyard. Wait, what were we saying? So yeah, but so on websites, you really need to focus on the things that you want to really promote. And I think a lot of websites just like kind of throw stuff on there. It's like, okay, this is what we do, this is what we offer. No. On that hero image, on that first image, if you don't tell somebody how you solve the problem within 3 seconds, they're gone. They're on to the next person because they don't have time, because they have ADD, because, whatever, right? You need to capture them so that they want to keep scrolling. And then as they keep scrolling, you want to keep capturing their attention so that they keep scrolling. And now they want to go to another page. And now they're on that page, you want to get their attention so they keep scrolling. So that's the user experience, right? It's keeping somebody's attention. It's keeping people interested in what you're offering, because there's so many people who do what we do. There's other OBMs, right? There's other, all marketing agencies. I mean, not as good as we are, but
Of course not.
So
yeah, I hear glass stove marketing is pretty killer.
Yeah, glass stove kicks ass from what I heard, but gas stove is even better. It kind of lights you up. So
oh god, this is amazing. Okay. So 60% of our audience, if not more at this point, tell us that it's as online business managers, they want to work for social impact companies. And when they say companies, this could be nonprofits, this could be for profits, this could be everything in between. Corporate responsibility. You do so much with social impact. Can you first share with us what you do from a volunteer standpoint? And then secondary, being that you're in it, what do they need from an organization standpoint?
So how I give back, and I'll let you know, when I was 19, I was homeless, 18, 19, whatever. And the funny thing for me was that I thought in the town that I'm in now that you would think that I would have gotten involved with the homeless shelter and all that, but it never spoke to me. And then I heard this horrific domestic violence story from a friend of mine who's no longer with us, not from domestic violence, from cancer. She survived this horrific domestic violence experience, only to be diagnosed with breast cancer 5 years later and gone 8 years later. It was like such a kick in the ass. But anyway, so we started Unmasking Lafayette, and we are a 501c3 that raises money and awareness for agencies in our community that tackle social issues, right? So we choose an organization for every 2 years. So, it was domestic violence, then it was children who were victims or witnesses of crimes, then it was 6 Alarm Peer Support, which is peer support for first responders. And now we're doing Pride for the next 2 years, which is, obviously near and dear to my heart. And so for me, it's how do you raise awareness, and then how do you raise money? Because I think the money piece is cool, but the awareness is even better. And then my TV show, Unique Voices, focuses on, LGBTQIA plus business owners. But it's not just for the queer community. It's for everybody to watch, to see that we're all alike. Some of our struggles are different, but for the most part, we all put our pants on the same way, and we all, have the same issues with business, right? I mean, if you're in the red, you're in the red. If you're in the black, you're in the black. It is what it is. And so I try to give as much as I can. And my hope with that is that I get to bridge the gap, because there's so much divisiveness right now, and I just want to see it go away. And I know it's not going to happen overnight, but if I can do something in my little corner of the world to help that, then that's what I want to do. As far as, working with businesses like that takes research, right? It takes it takes time. You're not just going to pull up a company. You're going to look at a company, and then you're going to look and see what their values are. And that's really, it goes back to working with people whose values align with yours. You have to make sure that that these businesses do focus on social issues and social impact.
Yeah. Well, first, hats off. It's amazing the work you're doing. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Truly, truly, truly needed. And I love also, it's called Unmasked. What is it?
Unmasking Lafayette. So it's unmasking the taboo, issues and stuff like that. My partner came up with that, not me. And my partner, Michelle, not my wife, Heather, my partner in Unmasking, which was funny because we're all sitting and she goes, Unmasking. And I went, I'm the freaking marketer. How the hell, did you come up with that? But I always give credit where credit's due. And she came up with it. And it was brilliant. I was like, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And we unmask the social issues that people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about queer people. People don't want to talk about kids that have been hurt. People don't want to talk about domestic violence. People don't want to talk about, so many things. They just want to put everything under the rug and hope that it'll go away, but it's not going away. And that's why we have to step up and do what we can to fix it or
Man,
do our part.
yeah, and what you're saying is so, so powerful, and what I really want all of our online business managers to hear is you can be in alignment with CEOs, leaders like Iris, and give your zone of genius, give your operations know-how, give your expertise, and help the projects like Unmasking Lafayette just explode even more. And I I'm just I want all of y'all to hear how what's the word, like powerful Iris talks about this, because Iris is amazing and there are so many people like Iris who are doing these other things. So yes, you need to do research, but you will find them and they need your expertise.
100%. And do your research, because there are some that on the surface look like they're doing the work and they're not.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good heads up.
I will say so if you are going to give to a cancer organization, give to a local cancer organization. We're paying CEOs, multi-million, dollar salaries, right? We have an organization here called Trisha's Hope, and I'm meeting with her next week, and I went to her fundraiser, and they actually raise money to help people in our community who have cancer with their bills, so they don't have to worry while they're going through chemo, while they're going through all this, with food, with, whatever. Those are the organizations that you want to look for, not the big, box organizations. You want to look for what's making an impact in your community. I think I would probably start. Because our community is where we can make the difference. We can't make a difference in Washington. We can't make a difference in, these bigger organizations, but we can in our little hamlet, in our little corner of the world. And that's why I choose to do what I do, where I do it. My clients are national. That's a little different. But when it comes to where I put my dollars, I put them in my community, because, this is where I live and this is where we need the help.
Oh my gosh, Leah and I were just talking about this morning.
I read your mind.
You did. If women had more money, it would funnel into the local community.
Oh my God. Yes. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what? And we talked about this on my podcast. I mean, they could watch it now, but the patriarchy, right? It's like, oh God, women need to just get back to ruling the world. I mean, we just, I know we never ruled it, but we need to get to that point, because if the right women were in the right positions of power, holy shit, what this world could look like.
I'm sweating.
I mean, I'm playing with my poppet stress ball. These are addictive. Okay, talk about ADD. These are so addictive. But anyway,
and I feel like I always need to say this, just because I don't want to discredit all of the amazing men in my life and the men who have propped me up. And I feel like in social media and so many things now, people want to label you as, I'm a feminist and it means that I'm, burning bras and hate all dudes. No, that's not. And so
I mean, I'm a lesbian and I don't hate all dudes. It's not about hating men. It's about it. One of the things we talked about was the women that are raising the men.
Totally.
And how they're raising the men. Like my nephew, I know is getting raised right. I know he's getting raised right. And I know if he does the wrong thing, he's not going to get his ass kicked, because, they don't hit them, but he will get straightened out, because, there's just some shit that's not okay. I mean, I live in Indiana, exactly. You're in Texas, so, and it's just one of those things that it's like, if we raise our men to be okay to cry, to be okay to love deeply, to be okay to be empathetic.
What?
What? Imagine that. And that's it. It's the empathy. Hands made up here. And really? And we're New England?
No, Nebraska.
Oh, well, yeah, shit. Sorry about that. Yes, empathy, 100%. And that's what it's about. And that's what women, and not all women. Let me tell you what. I mean, you know, and I'll name her. I don't give a shit. Marsha Blackburn probably has, you know, like this much empathy. Like they don't get it. Um, I'm a liberal, in case nobody noticed, and it is what it is. But a lot of Republican women do not, or right wing, do not have empathy. Like they don't get it. And then they think they're like, well, you know, they try to be like practical, and you can't be practical and empathetic. That's not true. You can be practical and empathetic, but you have to have humanity in it. And I think a lot of decisions that are being made are lacking humanity. They're not coming from humane places. And it just makes me, you know, the fact that I don't have a hole in my office wall is amazing because I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news since 2016.
Yeah.
I mean, I just haven't. But I know what's going on. And there are, so I think it was as of, what did Tanya tell me? I'm going to get the number wrong, but I think there were 837 hate bills already across the country in February. It is February. It is February. It ain't even March. So what is it going to look like in June?
Oh wow.
I mean, you know, people don't realize there's so much.
And you know, I understand that everyone is responsible for their own decision making, and I feel like we have made this impossible for anyone to win. And here's what I mean by that. I don't think that it's all right-wing women. And I know that that's not what you're saying. I don't think it's Republican versus Democrat versus liberal versus conservative. It's to me, it's how divisive it is, and you have to be one or the other. And it's unfortunate. And I think on this episode, where we're trying to talk all about love and we're trying to talk all about accessibility and all of that, I think it's important to highlight the impossible scenario and impossible tightrope that people are walking these days, and also highlight that media wants clickbait because it's all dollars, and therefore whatever is more
100%
shocking is going to be put out there.
Yeah.
So back to what you said before, do your research.
Do your research and be the bridge.
Yes. Be the bridge.
The bridge. You know, it's like I have so many people that I have had conversations with that sometimes it makes me go, okay, I'm going to push through this and try to explain, you know, my point. I'll listen to what they have to say. I always listen. I never shut anybody down. I may not agree with them, and I will let them know that I don't agree with them and why. Exactly. And that's the whole point, is that we are a melting pot. Like the Statue of Liberty literally says, give us your tired masses, your poor, right? We invite people in because we were a melting pot. That is what the United States of America is. And our differences is what makes everything so beautiful. And instead of being afraid of what's different, learn about it.
Totally.
And then when you learn about it, you can embrace a little bit of it, right? I mean, we have so many different cultures, and every culture has something beautiful about it. Every culture has something beautiful about it. Where the problems lie are the extremes.
Totally. On both sides.
On both sides. On
And
both sides, 100%. Like, trust me, there are some left wingers, and I'm like, whoa, okay, that's a little too far for even me. Um, and here we go. Sides. Why do there have to be
yes,
sides?
great
We
point.
used to be able to reach
Great point.
across the aisle. You can't reach across the aisle anymore. We are all American citizens. We're all Americans. And if we're not citizens, and if we are refugees, and if we are people, so what? So what? Are you going to do that $2 an hour job? No. So why are you complaining? I mean, that's how I kind of look at it. You know, these people that
Yeah.
are like, oh, they're taking our jobs. Really? Are you going to go do that job for $2 an hour?
Okay.
But anyway, we're going to get, and so I'm sorry. For me, it's literally reaching across the aisle, bridging the gap, realizing that we're more alike than we're not, and we're stronger together.
Yeah.
And it's all
And
about love on
while having
Valentine's.
boundaries. And while having boundaries. And that's okay too.
Boundaries are good.
Boundaries are good. Okay, I have taken up all of your time. I think we are way over. So,
Ooh,
final thoughts that you want to leave this group with.
um, eek. I don't know. I feel like we talked about so much. Do your research. Look inside and see what effect you really want to have. And make sure that you're loving what you're doing and who you're doing it with. We'll leave it on that on Valentine's Day. Love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, find something that you love that you can do.
Preach, 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 preach. Love it, love it, love it. Iris, thank you, thank you, thank you. Where can everyone find you?
Oh boy. LinkedIn, GasStoveCreative.com. You could find me on my podcast, which is Gas Stove Creative Presents the Cookbook. I am on Futures
Television. The links in there.
There's Futures Television on Apple TV and Roku. Unique Voices that airs every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. on Apple TV and Roku, which is, I can't believe I'm saying that. And yeah, but mainly LinkedIn. Just, you want to connect. I'd love to connect, and yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. This is such a wonderful episode. It means so much to me. I specifically sought out Iris to speak on Valentine's Day. So again, she just burst with love. And I am so grateful for you being on here.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm grateful for you having me on.
Wonderful. All right, y'all. I will be here this time next week. We are going to have a special guest who is a fractional COO. So a lot of people always ask us like, hey, what's next after an OBM? You'll learn next week. All right. See y'all.
Cool.